So interesting topic. What we have. I'm privileged to have a diverse uh, age group. We got many Gen Z, so I'm a little scared right now because I mean they have very disruptive insights. So I'm going to do my best to bring out all the insight, intelligence, which what's being happening into the value versus brand decoding Pune buyers philosophy and the shift into the one BHK. I'm going to divide these topics into two parts. One is what's happening with this transition of the smaller typology to a larger typology, nomenclature being 1 BHK. And the second part, which is the brand versus value. A few anecdotes before we start the panel is that we are seeing, and then, I mean, thanks to Prashant Thakur, who's the data scientist at Anarock. He has given some intelligence that 113 developers control 45% of primary homes sold in FY 25-26. So when you talk about the brand listed formal developers, that is a power we have seen from an organized player to an unorganized player. Having said that, it's also get enjoyed by large trust of all the customers who are now preferring from an unorganized buyer to an organized buyer. So my first question to JP sir, it's an honor, sir, for of you having on this panel with vast experience and so many decades on that. So I'm going to start with the youngest panelist, correct? Sir, you being there in the industry, what has been your observation in the last few decades? How you have seen the overall customer transition which had happened, and how you have seen specifically to Pune, wherein the intelligence set of natural citizens of Punekar, being Punekar, how you have seen them evolving from decade.
Thank you. My name is JP, and I always say JP stands for Jagruk Punekar. So Jagruk Punekar sort of sums up what Pune is all about. They have umpteen questions. They are chikitsak. They would want to find everything and nothing, but still claim to know everything. So with that kind of mindsets, we are blessed in a way. The developer of Pune knows that when he's tackling a buyer that is typically a Punekar, he has lots more to do than what he would probably have to do in Bombay or Nasik or any other city. And therefore, and then of course, we have the e-commerce and the Q-commerce. E-commerce is what everybody knows. What is Q-commerce? It is quick commerce. You have Blinkit delivering you anything in 5 minutes or probably 10 minutes. So information dispersion, information being for everybody is so fast that, and the Punekar is down there wanting to know, wanting to understand, and wanting to compare. And that's where the most interesting part about Pune buyers is they are ready with their comparisons. They could tell you more about your competitors than probably what research you have done. So it's a fun thing for us buyers, and each of us developers have excelled in trying to get this Punekar to buy a flat. It's a compliment. It's a real tough job, but I know Punekars are capable, and Punekar developers are better than that. So that's my perception of a Punekar and a Pune developer.
Fantastic. So what a start. The opening batsman has hit it out of the park. So I just wanted to, I'm not going to follow any sequence. Probably I'll just take Rahul. Rahul, you are like a Jarvis in Iron Man. So all the intelligence, all the data, all the analytics is being happening to Iron Man. I just wanted to understand what's happening in product, in pricing, in geography, because you hold lot of intelligence. Enlighten us what's happening in the city as far as real estate is concerned.
I can see the timer here is saying 40 minutes. Do I have 40 minutes to myself?
Take your time.
So I'll just try to be as brief as I can. Thank you everyone for coming here. So the Pune market, it's like a spring, you know. If we can go, let's say 10, 12 years back, from 2014 to 2019, prices were kind of stagnant. Sales were also going well, not great, not bad. And because of that, because prices were stagnant, the margins of developers was getting compressed. But what happened after COVID is that suddenly people realized that it's time to buy a home, time to upgrade a home. And because prices were stagnant, but people's salaries were continuously increasing. Pune was suddenly a very affordable market in 2019, 2020. And suddenly people thought, okay, let's go for bigger homes, let's go for better homes. And from 21 to 3, for 3 years, we saw a mad rush towards buying homes, and that we can see that in the data as well. Pune is one of the very few fortunate cities in India that has had a very stable real estate market, selling 80, 90,000 fresh new units for the last 5, 10 years. Uh, no market in the entire country comes close to Pune when it comes to number of units sold every year. So obviously, since so many new units started getting sold even more in the last 3, 4 years, prices kept on increasing because developers were not bringing in that kind of inventory 3 and 4 BHKs into the market. So suddenly we saw prices going up by 20, 30, 40, 50%. Some places prices even doubled, especially in the in the luxury segment where by 2019 developers had really lost a lot of money doing luxury. Very prominent project at Kharadi slash Wagholi by a very prominent developer which is not selling, but suddenly after COVID it sold very well. The channel partner fraternity knows very well about it. So in projects like that, prices doubled in matter of 3, 4 years. So now developers have realized that there is a demand for it, and what we are seeing in trends is that developers are building lesser, smaller homes, and developers are building larger, more numbers of 3 and 4 BHKs. Just to give you an example, 6, 7 years back, 3 times 1 BHKs were launched as compared to 3 BHKs. Today, that ratio is inverted, meaning now 3 times the number of 3 BHKs are being launched as compared to 1 BHKs. So it shows in the last 6, 7 years, the number of 3 BHK, the supply has increased 10x. So that shows typically from the supply point of view where the market is going. And from pricing point of view, prices have gone up quite a lot. Almost there's on the average value of a home, the price has gone up by almost 50%. Earlier, the average value of a home was less than 50 lakhs. Now it's upwards of 75, 80 lakhs. So that is primarily because now more developers are bringing 3 BHKs, 4 BHKs. But what will eventually happen is that the rate per square foot, which has gone up significantly, what we are seeing now in the market is that we are seeing a resistance point where buyers are now hesitant to buy at that price point. A lot of micro markets in Pune are now seeing slower sales velocity, and eventually what developers will resort to doing is start reducing the sizes. We will see the cycle of 2014 to 2019 start playing out from 26 onwards, where developers will start bringing 600, 650 square feet 2 BHK apartments, 900 square feet 3 BHK apartments, and pretty much that is what I foresee in the trends here.
And sorry, just to extend my question, Rahul, because you're talking about the trends, which is 19 to 20, wherein there is a lot of luxury homes being done, and there is a surge which you've seen in terms of the consumption which had happened, and then you've seen that 1 BHK moving towards larger typologies with lesser units, and then you see the trend coming back. Is it that the promoters or the developers are listening on ground and reacting faster so that they can adapt to the new launches coming in, or you see a lag still there with what, because if you launch it, the delivery is going to be there after say 3 to 4 odd years minimum, correct? So is it market apt or still there is a lag?
So there is always usually a lag of 1 to 2 years.
Got it.
JP sir here would vouch for the fact how fast sanctioning processes today in the market are.
Correct.
And there was a huge delay in ECs also, where ECs were delayed by more than 1 year. So unfortunately, even if the developer knows I need to build this product out, it will take him at least 2 years before he can actually bring it out into the market. That is why right now we are seeing a sort of oversupply in 3 and 4 BHKs, because developers wanted to bring this out 2 years earlier, but it's launching now. And that's why that inventory is taking a bit longer to sell in certain micro markets.
Fantastic. So it's like very good insight. Sandeep, over to you. You are the next generation joined the business. There is a old school versus new school, correct? And while I was just going through the profile of yours, you bring in the lethal combination. You teach in IIMs. You are an influencer. You represent TEDx, and you are the next gen who is taking charge of the business on that. How do you see you adapting yourself and adapting the business from convention to the next gen to become more relevant when it comes to the entire argument of brand versus value?
Okay, so the overall perspective of branding has changed in the real estate. Earlier, it has to be you give one full page paper ad and then you are famous and then people start recognizing you. So that was impact media working. What's working right now is you coming out yourself and showing the world that, boss, this is my product. I will be delivering it like this, and here I am approachable. Come talk to me. So the kind of trust that we are able to build through that, because there is no other media between you and your consumer, and that has helped the brand penetrate to the final consumer a lot. I mean, many of you would agree here that uh, real estate for last 20 years or 30 years till the from the time internet has started has been ropo model. Ropo is you research online and you purchase offline, right? So your consumers are researching online and then they decide, and when they're deciding, they are in front of the channel partners. Okay, so if you, as a developer, if you take care of only two things, one is show yourself on the digital front or be approachable so that your consumers are approachable, and two, be with the channel partners, because the consumer will talk to the channel partner, and if the channel partner also talks about you, I don't think so sales is a problem or your brand is a problem. So channel partners are they're building our brands for us. So earlier I had one mouth, now I have at least 2000 mouths speaking about me. All I have to do is just pay their commissions on time, give them the right support in the end, and make a great product for their clients. So that is, we have seen is it's very action oriented. So branding is not that how many years of work we have done or something like that. Customer wants now, abhi kya de rahe ho, we are okay. Plus, one point that he interestingly brought. So for one of the projects that we launched on BRTS Road, Tathavde, we are very skeptical of launching 4 BHKs, because 4 BHKs were about 1500 odd square feet, and we were at least like, I'm very proud to say that I still sell in Tathavde for 9,500 per square feet on sellable, okay, with a 40% loading, and I sell and I don't have units, okay. What we did was, so very strongly that my EC has been applied, IOD has come, everything is done. That is the time, I cannot name the company, but we invested in one of the world's biggest market research company, and they came, they put their fleet on the street. I was personally, I remember I was doing primary survey in a chalk inside Pimple Saudagar. Sir, aapko kaun sa ghar pasand hai, kya lete ho, kya karte ho? And the survey said very interesting thing, that Pune, particularly the market that I was operating, that this market is an upgrade market. And the research said that people who bought homes between 2012 to 2022, they are looking for an upgrade. Now they are used to that bigger 2 BHK. They are used to, so their incomes have increased, but the buildings have already become 10 years old. Now they're looking for a better society. And then based on that, we launch those kind of products and things like that. And what we couldn't change was the size, but what we did was we changed the specs, we changed a lot of amenities, and then we were like record sales. So what we need to understand is brand is what your consumer wants, and reading that your consumer wants this at the right time, your sale is done. So sales is not a challenge then.
So Sandeep, I just wanted to pick one more aspect. While you gave a fantastic stories in terms of what kind of a diligence which you did, due diligence in terms of identifying the product, you did the primary survey, so on and so forth, or whatever, which is the outside in aspect, right? So you got the insight and then you worked on that. I'm also keen is how the internal stakeholders, whether it is the architect, whether it is the construction side, whether it is the overall marketing aspects, and internal stakeholder, how they adapt to your style, which is more proactive, more on the ground, more modern. How do you, was it easy? Did you find any difficulty? Because all of it is going to have larger acceptance
Yes.
into the market.
So what we understood was, so we have a very good estimation team, and all our Excel sheets are ready. So for a very simple example, if I give a Jaguar fitting versus a Kohler fitting, the cost estimate on the entire project is say 6 rupees per square feet, the cost will increase. Will sales be able to achieve 12 rupees out of it, or 10 rupees out of it, or 3 rupees out of it? The sales has to commit those numbers. So every specs has a certain sales numbers to it. So sales people have to commit, okay, we'll be able to achieve this rate, and then estimations, they don't have any problem that way. So I think so from a brand point of view, or what kind of demand that we have to do is, first we have to listen to the market. There are 2 years. One is your primary research. Second is your channel partners. If you listen to them very well, and if your channel partners are giving you confidence, sir, bhav mil jayega, and you are then able to launch those kind of products, then there's no challenge. Today, we were the first ones when we launched that project. We gave a 6x4 tile. Now the cost of that tile is 70 rupees a square feet, but the fitting cost is 120 rupees a square feet. So the guy who fits it will charge me 120 rupees a square feet, but the guy who the cost of the product is 70 rupees a square feet. So all I have to do is give that confident boss, मैं rate निकाल के दूंगा market से. Customer को भी बोलता हूँ. That's why we're selling 1,000, 1,500 rupees higher than the market, because we're giving that much.
Fantastic. I love the stitching aspect of the entire supply chain.
Correct.
How you manage to bring everyone on one page
to the smallest detail. Say we had this handle जो आता है silver color का handle आता है. We wanted to give a brass rose gold handle. We were very clear. It's a very drag and drop editor. I drag it, put it in the specs. I know the cost is increasing by this much. Sales team, भाई तुम लोगों को confidence है? Yes, done. So it's very clear that way.
Because you're talking about the cost, my next question to Atul, who brings in the entire finance and marketing background on that. Sorry, Anuj, my bad. Sorry, my bad. So my question, because you're talking about this thing, Anuj, you have a blend of marketing and finance, correct? And there is a demand which is being happening that go for larger typologies, correct? And there is a trend which is moving towards that. How do you see you balancing the entire financial planning to be relevant for the market? And is it the unit of economics was being working fine, or do you have to do some calibration internally to be more relevant to the market?
So I think what the 2 BHK or the shift from 1 BHK to 2 BHK which has happened is the economics which is shifting. Let's say 1 BHK was 35, 40, 50 lakhs priced. But now a 2 BHK which was earlier priced at 50, 60 lakhs has moved to a 70 lakh pricing. So what this has helped is the same 2 BHK which was earlier priced less is now giving us more revenue. But like the estimation team says, sir, pricing भी बढ़ गया है. आपका fitting का cost 120 रुपए square feet हो गया है. Will you be able to achieve that? That's one. The 1 BHK asset class with now it's better. So the 1 BHK, which was the investors or the buyers who were looking at a 1 BHK on a rental basis or an investor model, they have shifted to a different asset class. It's not just a residential. They have moved to a co-living option where they look for a stable rental options. And from a developer perspective, if you move to a larger 2 BHK, which is around 800, which was earlier 600, what happens? You consume more FSI. So the less areas given to the common areas, that means you can give more to the amenities which is there. So if you give more amenities, the realization for the pricing which you'll get over a period of, let's say, horizon of 4, 5, 6 years, so that you'll be able to achieve that. And the cash flows, if you're giving the amenities, you're giving the right product, the right specifications, so you'll be able to set the cash flows.
And how is the overall product mix changes purely from the entire specifications and amenities? And that's my assumption basically is that you can go economical and tight when it comes to smaller typology, but the moment you go for a larger typology, the expectations of livability, the amenities aspects and everything, suddenly they are like, the customers are demanding. So does your planning changes with larger typology as a part of your product mix?
Absolutely, 100%. Because as you move higher, you think that your lifestyle is upgrading, and for a fact, it is upgrading. Like he said, 2 BHK or a 2 BHK, you need the golden brass. You said golden brass. So is it possible? So, but the pricing does not reflect that. And if I give more amenities, it's possible. Can you repeat the question, please?
So does the product mix changes, that number of parkings, then the amenities, then the swimming pools, gymnasium, and etc. has to be invested upon, which otherwise you can go little easy when it comes to the whole amenity list.
Yes. As you move higher in terms of 2 and 3 BHK, the expectations of the buyer or the consumer changes drastically.
Got
So 1 BHK doesn't really look for the amenities for their parents or their kids or themselves. What they look at is the pricing, the per square feet rates. But that's not how it is. In today's time, the consumer, what they really think is the EMI which is going to cost them per month. So does their salary cover that? The other expenses? That's the fact that's there in the market.
Got it. Interesting. Because you're talking about the customers and expectations, etc. My next question to Sujeet. Sujeet, you are hands-on when it comes to dealing with customers. You know in and out about what has been their pattern, whether they will buy, what is their interest level, so on and so forth. And the way Jagrit Punekar, which the sir has said, is that he is well versed. Correct. By and large, I've observed is that Pune customers are very sensitive when it comes to the value which they have been paying so far. Larger typology means larger ticket value. Correct. So while there is an ask for a larger ticket value, but the demand or the expectations to have a tighter budgets will always be there. How do you balance the entire pricing and the product expectations to balance so that you maximize the benefit to the customers as well as to the developer?
Hi, good evening. So JP sir, we were sitting outside, and I told him I'm from MIT college. He said, "Ki I used to teach there for 8 years, right, sir? And I was never found in the class. So casually, I cannot be formal for long. So coming to your question, 1, 2, 3 BHKs, I still believe it's very much not. It's not about the configuration anymore. It's about the aspiration. So clients, they are very much evolved, informed. The income has increased. Dual income, household is there, and people are like now. See, earlier also 650, 600 square feet 1 BHK used to be there. Now the smart developers are what they are doing. They are making 600 square feet 2 BHKs. Okay, so they are somehow able to fulfill their dreams that I'm giving you 2 BHKs and it's efficient. And as a buyer, they can see this that is it fulfilling my 5 7 years goals in future, and can I be there? Because after COVID, post COVID, the scenario was very different. Okay, so family time, lifestyle, amenities, everything mattered. Okay, we when we were bachelors, so we used to reach home around 2 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, after office, you change your dress, go for party, come back. But COVID, taught us something that you need to have home. Okay, so many of the people still think that real estate, it's a long-term asset. Do not think about it like it's an investment. So buy it as a home. Still, 1 BHK, I would say those who need cash flow, faster sales, and ready to deal with these many clients, they should always build 1 BHKs because it's an investor market now. It's not at all end user market. Or few of the pockets, few of the micro markets in Pune, which is now like nearby Ring Road, Talegaon, Dhanuri, Lohegaon, or by far Lohegaon, Wagoli, Bakuri Road. So different micro markets, they don't allow you to build larger apartments. Okay, if you build larger apartments there, you don't have buyers. So decide your TG first, then your product, then your specs. Be smart about it. So many of the developers are struggling because they are very ambitious. We want to give this, that, but okay, fine. Is the rate justified? Is the cost justified? And are your buyers happy whatever you are giving? Because end of the day, I believe luxury. People are talking about luxury. Space is the ultimate luxury. Okay, so giving home automation, giving Italian mama, I'm also giving in few of the markets. Okay? I'm allowed to give there. That market gives me that kind of liberty. I have that kind of rate. I can sell at the premium price. So I'm able to give that kind of specs. But uh, emotionally, it's an aspirational shift, and people will. We are completely moved on. We are moved on from 1 BHKs. It's no longer for a buyer who wants to stay there, other than few of the micro markets. But typically PMC, Pune, and few of the PMRDA market, we are fine with 2, 3, and now simplexes and 4 BHKs, 5 BHKs. Every market has luxury, affordable, but we need to be said that market is saturated. Affordability is the issue now in Pune. You go to Baner, Balewadi, Kharadi, there is no fixed price. Every developer is running their own market. Okay, that's the problem with Pune. You come, somebody, a new corporate comes in the market, and they're like, see, their ultimate superpower is money. Okay, they inflate the market like anything. You are selling at a price, you know the Pune's DNA. Okay, I know Pune's DNA, what we want to build. But they are coming and they're like, okay, 20% premium we have because we are this. Brand value, everything is fine. But again, affordability is going to be the issue. And that's the struggle. Everybody is selling. Nobody is struggling if when their intent is right, they're doing justice with the product and they're good with the channel partners. I'm telling you, channel partners are like 100% in future coming 5-7 years. 100% sales is going through the channel partners. So you need to be good with them. A few of them are here. So yes, thank you.
I love the thumb rule which you talked about, is that read the market, hear the voice of channel partner, develop your product, bring it on, and that's where the overall you are in safe hand in terms of the velocity. Because we are talking about the changing dynamics of the customer, Rahul, I'm tempted to ask, because you bring in so much of data and then you have thrown so many insightful data pointers. What's happening with the average age group? We have seen that traditionally it was 45 above. Pandemic time we saw it is coming down, wherein around say 40-41 we are now larger participation is being happening by Gen Z millennials who are now actively investing into their first home, which otherwise the concern of having an ownership because of the large ticket size and compromised livability was being a hindrance. What are the triggers wherein the average age group or age is reducing in participation of real estate?
So the average age of the buyer was reducing until a point. But what we observed is that again post COVID, a lot of older buyers entered the fray again. And who are these older buyers? Like one of like you rightly said, those buyers who had bought in 2012, 2010 prior to that, who are now looking to upgrade. So these are people in their late 30s, early 40s, who had bought a 2 BHK 10 years, 15 years back, and now they want to upgrade. So because of that, your average buyer age has started increasing again. And again, in a market where more 3 BHKs are selling than 2 BHKs, your average buyer age is obviously going to increase, because a first time home buyer is not going to go for a 1.5, 2 crore rupee apartment anyways. So, uh, but what developers need to do is developers need to understand that that young buyer has not disappeared. He's still there. He's still looking for that 60, 70 lakh rupee apartment in Punavle, Tathavde, which he's not getting. He's now being forced to go further than Mamudi, let's say. So the young buyer is there. It's just that he's not getting the product in his budget range in the particular locality where he's searching.
So there is an enough play what you are recommending. There is enough for everyone, every age group what you are recommending. There is an intent for Gen Z and millennials to buy. They are waiting for the right product and an opportunity for them to buy. Is it what?
Yeah, correct. So,
Fantastic.
So recently I was speaking to a channel partner. He told me that near Punavle, Tathavde, one developer who shares a name with a resort over there, he launched a project at a lower than market value pricing, and he sold very well. If you check out that developer's data, I will not be surprised if the buyers there are young.
Correct.
Because he's catering to that particular ticket size.
Okay. Got it. JP, so I'm coming back to you. The brand versus value is always a challenge on that. We are also seeing that customers are now aware, educated, demanding. They exactly know whom to buy, what to buy. They do their due diligence online with promoters, financial, and so on and so forth on that. How much of pressure it brings on to the developer to be balancing that brand and value, because it's all about trust, wherein they need to stand out in customers' mind. Are there any transition in terms of investing into the business to hold on to the trust of the customer over a period of time? Is it that challenging or a pressure on developer to invest on themselves?
A wonderful question. Actually, I like the definition of brand that I read somewhere. When somebody buys a product from you, you made a sale. Just listen to this definition. Somebody buys a product from you, you made a sale. Somebody buys it second time, you build trust. But when somebody buys it third time or tells someone to buy it, you build a brand. Understand? So when that person is not only bought it second time but told somebody like him, boss JP sir ke paas se lo, that means you have built a brand. And therefore, brand building, as Jeff Bezos says, is like reputation. It's a lot of doing of difficult things well. And therefore, when you have to build a brand, and particularly when things are changing rapidly, all of us agree that real estate is location centric. It's not anymore only location centric. We have now got corporates entering into this business. Therefore, a lot of changes have to be done by all of us. We have to present ourselves, if not being completely like corporates, but transparent, committed to whatever we are going to give. And that's how people will listen to you, and even your channel partners will trust and speak about you. So brand is going to be trust that you evolve with every person that you deal with, whether it's your supplier, whether it's your channel partner, or whether even it's your vendor or your contractors. So it's a big process and it's really hard work. And in this scenario, people who have managed to keep that going have succeeded. And again, being location centric, as he said, people have a budget. Gen Zs, they would have to probably move to Mamurdi instead of Pune. Customers are there. I'm building in Chandni Chowk. I believe I should be able to sell a flat for 10,000 rupees, and my sizes are not going to be anything less than 1,400 square feet carpet. Well, that's my little study of the market there. Probably right or wrong, time will prove. But I've spoken, as he said, rightly said. Talk to people there. I see people from Kothur, aspirational, wanting to go to better locations. And my location is Chandni Chowk, so it's exactly Kothur extension. So that's how each developer works on what is suitable for him in terms of the product size, in terms of the pricing, and each of them. So data being available so easily, it's quite possible, unless you're really, really a person like, say, I'll name a person like Atul Chodia, who could create any space, any name, and still build and command a price. So that there are few such people. For us, most of us here, we have to take into consideration all the variables and then decide how to go forward.
Fantastic. It's a double hard work what you're saying. I want to extend one more question to you. Is that while you're doing all the due diligence, you are getting it right in terms of the product pricing, you're also investing into building the trust for the customer. While all this is being happening, there are many multi-city players are now entering, right? Whether these listed developers or branded developers or multi-city developers who has larger pockets, deeper pockets, have larger marketing budgets, etc., who wants to establish their presence into the market, etc. How do you prepare yourself for such fierce competition, which we have seen in Pune in the last 5-6 years?
Well, gentlemen, I have already doing a joint venture with a multi-city development called Merlin from Calcutta. They are huge people with huge pockets. Trust me, they do a wonderful job, but they have to consider the micro and the macro market as we consider it. Everybody is here to make a profit. I mean, probably they might have the money to spare a little more than what I have, but ultimately their margins would not be a few percentage here and there. So therefore, when it comes to being the profit margins, it's going to be almost the same. We have the advantage of being local. So people would know JP Shroff, they would know Rahul Ajmera, but they wouldn't know Merlin. So when they did, their joint venture was the first with me. So nobody had heard of Merlin. So they spent a lot of money in creating a brand for themselves. So that's the advantage I have, or that's the advantage all of us have. We are Puneites. People have heard of us. People know what we have executed, what we have delivered. So we definitely have an edge, and that is the edge that we need to continue having. Competition will come from corporates, from multi-city developers, but I don't think that we need to worry. Keep doing the right thing, the right way, at the right price. You are certainly going to succeed.
राहुल, जेपी सर के बारे में बात यह है कि आपने मर्लिन को तो जेवी दे दी. जब भी हम मिलते तो हम सोचते सर एक आध प्लॉट हमारे लिए तो दे देना, बिकॉज सर कुछ तो हो तो दे देना. एक आध छीटा मारोगे तो भी एक आध मिलियन तो बना ही लेंगे सर.
सर जाते जाते राहुल रोहित गेरा भी मेरे को बोल के गया, मैं 5 लाख फुट भी मैं 5 लाख फुट भी बनाता हूँ.
So instead of compete, just join hand and compliment to the business. Brilliant point on that.
I have 2 daughters and I thought they were not interested in real estate, but when it came to the Chandni Chowk project, the Banjara Hills location, They said that is one place we'll create a brand for ourselves. So there is no Merlin, there is no Excella, there is no Kumaro Gera, it's JP Shroff. So I need all your support.
Cheers to that, sir. Cheers to that.
Sandeep, is it okay to say you are the only influencer on this panel, official influencer on the panel?
I don't know anyone who's following my content on Instagram. Oh, okay, so there are a few hands.
Fantastic.
So I actually started creating content about 4 months back, and my objective was very simple. I'm a hardcore Sindhi with a business mind. So मेरे को ना हर एक channel partner के पास जाने को बहुत ऐसा लग रहा था इतना effort क्यों मारने का. So what I did was I started creating content for channel partners कि माल कैसे बेचना है, कैसे अपने टीम को ट्रेन करना है. अभी काफी सारे चैनल पार्टनर्स का इंडक्शन प्रोग्राम मेरा इंस्टाग्राम होता है. सो दे कम के भाई इसको इंडक्शन करवा दो, ये सारे सर के 4 रील देख लो एंड डू दैट. सो व्हाट हैज हैपेंड इज आई लिसन टू तन्मय भट्ट एंड लॉट एंड इट सेज वेरी सिंपल दैट एवरी एंटरप्रेन्योर, whether you are a channel partner or a developer or something, you have to create your own distribution network. Unless you have your control on the distribution, you have to rely on a lot of other things for that. So that was the only reason.
So is it safer to say that this panel will have a highest like, share, comment?
Could be.
Fantastic. So this was
Because of it.
Yeah.
this was on a lighter note, but extending your point, Sandeep, is that when you talk about this new age communication style, you also talked about that, you give a print ad, you are famous, everybody's talking about you. Now it has changed because the marketing budgets are going tighter. You have larger access and intelligence available on digital platforms, etc. How do you see that you are more relevant to your customers, whether it is the end prospects as well as channel partner,
Okay.
and how you are utilizing these marketing mix so that you attract and be relevant to them?
Okay, so we're very simple. How many of you are developers here? Okay, or developer sales or something like that. Okay, and how many of you are channel guys, like channel sales and all? Okay, do one thing. The problem is, see, it's not the message, it's the medium and the way you listen to the medium. Now, I do a very simple exercise, and all channel partners, or if you have sales team, please do that. Okay, आपको customers का CRM में सारे clients का you have the remarks that this customer bought, cancelled, lost, everything. I go one step ahead. I have all the transcripts. My sales team calls them. My pre-sales is calling. My clients are calling. All the audio files. Download all the audio files and upload all of them on Claude or ChatGPT. And tell them, please give me a better analysis of my customers. Every month, what I do is in the end of the month, इस महीने कितने साइट विजिट हुए, उनके कितने लॉस्ट हो गए, कितने लोगों ने बुक किया, ये सारा डेटा क्लाउड पे डालो and ask them to analyze it for you and give a better medium or a message. Claude or your AI would suggest you that this is the medium you should choose and this is the message you should give, and that's the fantastic thing. I mean, we are not using digital the way it should be actually. A lot of people say marketing budgets are tighter. अरे भाई मैं पूरा project का direct marketing 600 करोड़ का project है, 1.5% direct marketing में पूरा project निकाला है. So it doesn't work that way. I mean, you have to just listen to your data like a mother listens to the child. Okay, and if you listen to your data very well, बाकी सब आसान है. You just have to hit the right chords, is what I believe.
JP, so you have a point?
नहीं मेरे को डर लग रहा था कि संदीप जी is telling them that कुछ दिनों को बाद क्लाउड को बिठाओ, हमको वहां बिठा दो. The way cloud is taking over, I agree. It's so much of analysis that you can do using AI that very soon we'll be using that as a medium to make sales and listening to it more than what you listen to us.
Anuj, is it safer to say that you are into a Gen Z category?
No, I'm
Okay, so you are on a cusp of
not. The cusp, just the exact cusp.
Okay, so late millennial. So you will understand better as compared to me. So I have a large gap on that. I just wanted to understand that, what are the triggers for them, because they are your next buyers, correct? So when you are building your business, how do you factor into the next generation's insight coming in, their expectations, their behavioral pattern, and is there any technology angle which you bring onto the table as a part of your developmental agenda?
Definitely, I think from a Gen Z perspective or a younger buyer perspective, what you incorporate in your society or your project, your planning, is that how you build an ecosystem. when a younger buyer looks at an apartment or looks or goes to a project, what he doesn't just look at the flat or the sizes. What he looks at, जब मेरे दोस्त आएंगे मैं उनको कहाँ लेके जा सकता हूँ, ये सोसाइटी में मेरे पेरेंट्स के लिए क्या है, मेरे बच्चों के लिए क्या होगा. So this all these factors consider, this is not just a typical buyer, like he said, Ropo, research online and purchase offline. You have to make sure your digital presence is extremely high and extremely strong, because you're not just competing offline, you're competing online with the giants and the market around you. So all these factors considered, the younger generation looks for these small aspects which makes them choose or help them make their decisions faster.
Fantastic, fantastic. Sujit, while we are talking about conveying the communication, we have large respect and dependency on the channel partners who contribute, etc. Tell me more about the geography. Is there any view of yours on the geography? Pune as a market is an education hub, it's an IT hub, correct? Is a magnet city for many other locations to be a part of it, correct? Is there any play for any real estate player to attract multi-geography for Pune? If yes, how one should be evaluating that?
I believe it's already in, we are doing it. We all are doing it. It's no longer, yeah, of course, the education and IT is the primary drivers when we see Pune market. But healthcare, manufacturing, entrepreneurs, startups, बहुत सारी चीजें आ गई पूना के अंदर में. So only dependent on IT is like a few of the markets that you can see. And but yeah, geographically, Pune has this benefit that it can span, in the four directions. Okay, and people love the nature, mountains. Of course, अभी कुछ लोग पूना को कंट्री जंगल बोलना शुरू कर चुके हैं. But what can be done? Okay, अभी जमीन तो मिलेगी नहीं आसमान, because UDCPR and all these things, they allow us to build, we can go tall and consume the maximum FSI. But it's no longer just IT and education. Okay, earlier it's been called, retirement's paradise. So अब तो वो भी second generation उनकी भी आ चुकी है. So Pune has evolved big time, big time.
And are there any geographies which you see that there is a serious investment to attract buyers to happen, like a
जहाँ भी
Mumbai?
infrastructure flow कर रहा है, it's infrastructure driven. Ring road is coming. Somewhere IT is announced. Airport is announced. The people are just moving towards that. कभी कभी भीड़ की चाल भी रहती है कि कुछ भी नया आ गया, लोगों ने खरीदना शुरू कर दिया. But I believe infrastructure and the connectivity is going to play the key role, because geographically Pune is a very mountain. So अगर ये अच्छे से अगर इसको address कर दिया जाए, so we are in good shape.
Interesting. Rahul, externally we have seen that real estate as a category is relatively late adopters when it comes to technology, AI, any of the new innovation which comes across on that. I mean, you will see e-commerce, quick commerce, they are the front runners. We also seen that retailers now investing heavily on that. Then there are automobiles and everything, which is after that, you see real estate coming in on that. With the innovations coming in, which all formats of real estate you see impacting heavily? Like you see the chatbots, the voice bots, you see customers are averse to picking up any unknown numbers, etc. That has been the behavioral change, correct? In fact, Sandeep talked about that they are the people who read online and book offline, correct? So when this behavioral change has happened, how do you see the developers can adopt and invest into such aspects?
So talking about the new technologies in real estate, AI voice bots have become popular now. I think Godrej and Loda are using it extensively. A lot of developers also. I've used it for 6 months. I was not very happy with it. And the problem is that, like you rightly said, when unknown numbers are calling people, and channel partners obviously face it a lot, that our sales teams face it a lot, that all of our numbers are spammed by Truecaller and all these. Even the telecom agencies, they flag our numbers as spam. So that is becoming a problem. So even when you're doing automated voice calling, the customer is not answering the phone. But where there is a scope, which I've seen a couple of developers also implement, is that they have using Claude especially. I've seen how they've made their CRMs more efficient. where directly if the customer is having any query, think of it like an intelligent CRM who is as intelligent as the developer only. If that customer wants receipts, he gets it immediately. He has some doubt regarding the agreement, they are able to answer it effectively. So developers have started implementing it. In the next 1 or 2 years, we'll have AI experts who would have a good amount of domain knowledge, and then they will work with developers to, like how there are people who implement SAP. So something like that will happen in AI as well, and they will see how your organization runs, and they'll try to implement what works best for you. AI is going to make your internal systems more efficient, more than anything else.
Yeah, I'll just add to this. See, the problem with using AI for real estate is people are, I mean, AI should be used. I mean, what is happening is where humans are required, they're replacing that with AI is a very wrong thing for real estate. You need your guys in CRM, you need your guys in sales. They need to be humans and far better humans. What we do is now, what problem is a human cannot remember that much information. So I still am on an experiment phase. Maybe in the next time I will give a special session on this. Is I have created 330 chats by each flat number on Claude. Okay, I have uploaded their agreements. I have uploaded all the queries that they have asked to me. I have uploaded their booking form, everything. Now, what happens is, even if my one person leaves, then he goes, and the other person is servicing the client. He just goes to that same Claude prompt and asks, "Boss, iska ye sawal hai. Do you have any better answer for me?" And the Claude is able to give better answer for that. So what we are doing is we are adding that artificial intelligence layer on the humans so that they can service better rather than replacing humans and doing that. That's the wrong way real estate is actually doing.
Fantastic. So if I were to summarize, it is all these small initiatives, whether it is uh, the on-ground intelligence, developing right product, right pricing, investment into technology, innovation, you building the trust, and strategically build your cost structures in a manner that they are pocket friendly. For that, all these things will have that brand over the price perception which comes across. So very insightful on that. I have last fun question, and then probably we can open it for the audience if they have any question. This is out of syllabus, nothing related, so it can be as open as possible. We have seen, many states, many countries have a face, or it can be a celebrity. So we have seen some initiatives wherein, for some time, Mr. Bachchan was a face of Gujarat and all the initiative which is being coming across on that, because it's Pune. It is being talked about since morning. That it's a promising destinations. It is real estate at its boom. Infra is happening, etc. If you were to recommend the face of real estate for Pune, correct? It can be any celebrity, sports, business, or anybody. Who would that be? Individual answers and why? Have I stumped you or?
Yeah.